always loved forests, often wondering what could be under those dense canopies. Actual physical truths associated with legends, or maybe even things where stories haven't even been told yet. Anyway, I decided to live amongst the green, as it were, and see what I could discover. It was probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made.
So is this your first kid?
Yeah, it's gonna be our first. I mean, I always thought we'd start our family in a more suburban environment, but Jason here's convinced me to move to the mountains, so here we are.
Well, this area is a great place to raise them.
How long you lived up here, Stephanie?
Pretty much my whole life. Yeah, I moved to the Bay Area for a little while in the 90s and then back up here, probably for good.
Oh, city life wasn't for you?
Don't get me wrong, I like people, just in doses. And I find the right dosage up here.
Yeah, we're ready to start weaning ourselves.
Oh, this is a great place to weed. So, Catherine, Jason was telling me you're a biologist?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of biology? Are you working in the field or in a lab?
Well, I studied botany, and then I worked in hydroponics for a long time, but now I'm mostly in scientific publications. I do a lot of peer reviewing, like less of my own research, but I love it.
And Jason, you're a videographer, yeah?
Oh, surely you jest. I make documentaries, yeah, mostly nature-oriented, sell them on Amazon, my own website, squatchfilms.com.
Bigfoot stuff.
Yeah, yes, thank you for the laugh immediately thereafter. She's a little cuckoo.
No, oh, I'm sorry. I really
No.
didn't mean it that way. This valley is full of people,
Yeah, nut jobs, is that what you're saying? Great. Yeah, I love it. My dad got me books when I was little. I think there's genuinely something to the phenomena, along with all the craziness. And I met a lot of really cool people who take it seriously.
Look, I promise you, he's not crazy. He's just very, very
Smart.
passionate.
Yes. I mean, look at this, though. Can you believe this?
This is absolutely beautiful.
All of this would be yours. This is part of the property.
Extremely squatchy.
Very
Okay,
squatchy.
I'll agree. It's squatchy.
Oh my God, I
amazing.
love this wood.
Right.
This is great.
Yeah, Catherine, this stove, I think it's from the early 40s.
And is the furniture included, or?
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, Betty's willing to do that. And you know that she's 92 now, so she wants to stay around in the area, but
Yeah.
it's just getting too hard for her to make it up those stairs. So, oh, she told me it was okay to give you any information like about her background that you may want to know. So.
Good, because I was going to report you.
Yeah, let's go outside and
Okay,
take a look.
Oh, yeah, this doesn't suck, honey. Whoa.
Is this something?
Yeah, it is something. Wow. This is a good selling point angle right here.
Yeah, I thought this would be the grand finale for you.
Did you, or have you rather, heard stories over the years?
About Bigfoot?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was growing up around here, some folks thought that just kind of beyond the ridge line.
Right.
That, well, seasonally, mind you.
Right, of
but,
course.
Yeah, a small group of them would just hang around for a while before moving on.
What was your reaction to that when you were little?
I thought it was cool.
What do you think about it now?
I still think it's cool.
Right, of course you do. Who doesn't?
Yeah, well.
So, you think if we get it on and I make those noises you like, it'll attract in Bigfoot?
I think it's worth a try.
You sure that's what he sounds like? Isn't it more like, oh? No, that's not. That's it.
I have always thought it was pure bull. I mean, don't you think they would have found a body by now?
Well, you know, it was like hundreds of years of stories about mountain gorillas before some jackass shot one. And then the wild men of Borneo turned out to be orangutans.
Come on, those are incredibly wild parts of the world.
You know, those parts of the Pacific Northwest literally have thousands and thousands of hills that are densely vegetated and are too steep for our measly humans like ourselves to go up.
Okay, but wouldn't satellites have picked up on them?
They probably live under canopy. Satellites don't see through canopy.
What about remains?
Neanderthals buried their dead. Mountain gorillas have been seen covering their dead.
You thought way too much about this, Jason.
You haven't thought about it enough.
You might be right.
Thanks, Lena. I have every single one of these books.
Found a few rat turds on the porch this morning.
Oh, that's nice. I'm finding you knew rat turds were part of the deal. Come on. Betty said, who used to live here 44 years, said she only found 2 vermin the entire time.
Yeah, and one was a rat first thought to be a chihuahua.
And on the probability scale, now that we've been here a couple of weeks, where are you in the belief?
30%.
That's moved up.
Okay, it's gone up 2 points. That's still on the improbable part of the scale.
But progress has been made.
When was the major sighting again?
October 12th, 1992, about 3.8 miles from here. That way.
Babe, that's like 30 years ago.
Yeah, but you know, there's also a lot of other stories, Native American lore, and a really cool, kind of weird story I heard that happened about 6 months ago, really close to here.
You could see the headlines now. Bar me, booze hound bags, Bigfoot.
No, Stephanie, the realtor, says she knows this guy, some kind of forest worker, and pretty cool.
Yeah, you should go talk to him. I mean, that's half the reason we moved here.
Yeah, and what do you think I'm doing tomorrow?
Going to see the forest ranger?
Bingo.
Bingo.
Hey, Jason?
Yeah, Jeff.
Have any trouble finding the place?
No, man. Your drop pin worked great. So this is where it happened, huh?
Yeah, 5 months ago at the end of the month. Hey, before we get into what happened here, like I said on the phone, right? It's strictly off the record. This stuff said you're not like making a book or a movie or anything, but
Right, I'm not writing a book and I'm not making a movie.
okay. So for starters, man, I'm pretty damn sure I wasn't being hoaxed.
Why do you say that?
First off, it stood for a couple seconds right underneath that tree right there. I came back here the next day and I measured the spot on the tree where the top of its head was. I couldn't have been off more than a couple of inches. The thing was at least 7 feet off the ground. And then I started taking a couple of strides from there down to there and then down the embankment, and
Right.
it couldn't have been more than 4 seconds.
How far away were you when you first saw it?
I stopped about 30 yards short, right about here. Yeah.
About home plate to first base?
Yep.
Did you get out of the car?
Look, Jason, I don't consider myself much of a chicken shit, but I'm telling you right now that the thickness of that thing and the height of it, I mean, even if it had the temperament of what? It's that 80s Bigfoot thing.
Harry.
Harry and the Hendersons. No, man. And not saying that it looked like it had like a negative vibe. It didn't seem like it was trying to hurt me or anything. It was just freaking big.
Yeah. Any smells?
Besides my shorts? No, sorry.
That's understandable.
I mean, if that was a guy in a suit, he would have had it practiced for a long, long time to be that smooth.
So, how are things with this forest worker? Do you seem trustworthy?
Yeah, he was like pretty legit, you know, like I definitely talked to him about Bigfoot stuff again. Seems into it. How's the book?
Ugh, I mean, it's...
Whoa.
What the hell was that?
Might be a coyote.
That doesn't sound like any coyote I've ever heard.
You know, with the echo off the hills here, they can kind of sound like that.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but it sounds like one of those Bigfoot sounds you played me.
Hey, hon. Honey, look. At least it was one of the older models.
It was probably just some kid or crackpot messing with you. I mean, you haven't exactly kept it a secret you're into Bigfoot.
You know, you and I are the only two who know who put the cameras up there. No cakewalk getting up there. Did you tell somebody?
Of course not. It's probably just some pot grower. That hill looks like a good place to grow weed.
What hill isn't a good place to grow weed around here?
Look, Sasquatch wouldn't even know what a camera is.
It didn't have to recognize it as a camera. It just could have seen this unusual thing on the side of a tree and then gave it a good thwack.
Okay, but then last week when you said it was moved, I mean, why didn't an image of the mysterious primate show up then?
That could have been something else. Squirrel, raccoon, chupacabra.
When is Brian due?
Oh man, really soon.
Right.
So excited.
Yes, I am. Let me know if you need me.
Okay.
My God.
Dude, long time no smelly.
Man. Oh, man.
How are you, bud?
I knew when I got lost 3 times trying to find this place, it was going to be awesome.
Yeah, very squatchy. What did you bring?
Look at you. What are you talking about?
Oh,
look at
yeah,
there.
look, what is that? Voila! Dude, what? Where'd you get him?
Having a PhD in primatology has its perks, me boy. I told Dr. Schlesinger about your research.
Yeah.
And he threw in some pheromone samples. And not just orangutan, bro. He threw in lowland gorilla for good measure.
How's his tracker gun going?
Well, he wants to meet you.
No.
I set up a powwow for a few days. Oh my God, who is this lovely apparition? Sexy preggers. I'm so proud of you
What's
guys.
this?
Oh, that's just
Drug paraphernalia?
that's something from the
No.
college.
Boys planning a wild night?
It's just it's a research project. No, nothing.
Why don't we take those inside? Have some.
A whiskey?
4 would be
Four
good.
whiskey, too.
Yes.
Were you able to find any witnesses from what happened here back in the day?
No. Like most of them passed on or they moved out of the area. So give me one more of those.
So you guys didn't actually see anything?
No. Nope.
Okay, I didn't have to see anything to know that what I heard didn't come from a human.
We're in the middle of bear and cougar territory.
Yeah, it wasn't a cougar, and I've never heard a bear make that noise.
You guys need a beer?
Yeah.
A few.
You still at 33%, honey?
I mean, Brian seems pretty sure of himself, so maybe a few more points. 37%?
37. Thank you. I know you don't want to shoot one of these things to prove they exist, but I mean, you got to be thinking a Magnum and hollow points, a 30-06, a shotgun with the biggest stopping rounds you can find. That thing was huge.
Dude, so few reports that have any credibility that they harm humans.
It only takes one. Do you want it to be you? Look, after what we heard today, you can actually sit here and have a conversation about going back up on that hill without a firearm.
I'm worried about you or I freaking out, wounding one, and it freaks out and then gets its family after us.
What's next, gentlemen?
We're getting about an 80% penetration rate into simulated flesh. When it does fully go in, all indications are that the tracker will hold. Tiny titanium barbs, along with a slight numbing agent, help reduce the chances of it being dug out, at least initially. Now, here's a really cool thing. The prototype we have available now theoretically lasts as long as the animal lives. It's powered off the internal heat of its host.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That way you don't have to zoo one, you don't have to put one on a slab. You can videotape it over time, DNA samples. You know, you seem fairly excited about this for someone who's claims to be skeptical of Bigfoot existing.
Compared to 10 years ago, I admit, a nudge upward given the detailed analysis of the Patterson films.
Wow, I can't believe you give a lot of credence to the Patterson film, dude. The guy was a known hoaxer. His favorite story before getting a picture of a female Bigfoot was of a guy who said he saw a female Bigfoot, human-like breasts.
Also, this device wasn't created exclusively to prove cryptos exist.
Okay, look, Brian and I are fairly sane, fairly scientifically trained. You've known him a long time. Granted, you just met me, but what do you think about letting us have a shot at it?
You really think there's one out there, huh?
Strong probability.
Check back with me in a few days. Let me think about it.
You're awesome. Thank you, Doug.
So, how the hell can this guy just give you guys the use of an untested invasive tracking system? It seems unethical.
Well, it is. It doesn't use tranquilization. It's not illegal, and he hasn't said yes yet.
Okay, and how do you plan on getting close enough to dart one since you haven't seen one?
Who says we necessarily have to be there?
All right, we think what we can do is take the tracker gun, put it on top of the camera, set it so that if 30% of the screen gets filled and it's 10 to 15 feet away,
Remote trigger.
5 feet high, it'll trigger and a nosy raccoon doesn't get nailed as
That's
a
right.
result.
And what about a nosy human?
Unless you know someone that's, say, in the 350-pound category that can make it up that hill without having a heart attack, I think we're good.
So, this not so legal invasive tracking system is somehow going to penetrate all the supposed hair on these supposed things.
It's no guarantee it's gonna work. I mean, there are reports of patchiness of hair too. Maybe we get lucky and it hits a place where there is no hair.
So we think we can program it to delay 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds.
The
so that
flash.
it turns, right, instead of, because easier for it to pick it out of the front. Side or the back, probably harder.
Can't use its arms, get it out of front. This is delicious.
It's plausible.
I get it, guys, yeah.
Lester's just gonna let us use the tracker gun.
Oh my God, get out!
Hey, hon, any drumsticks left?
I think in the freezer.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey, Brian, get in here. This is, could be interesting here, hon.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
We got action?
Like, it's fully operational, man.
Hold it. I'm tracking live.
Okay.
Look right there.
Guys, don't you think you should wait just a little bit till whatever you hit gets a little less pissed off?
If it bleeds at all when it's hit, the vegetation in the zone where it's hit could have blood splatter on it, and every minute that we wait, that DNA is getting degraded.
Okay, but you're gonna take the rifles, right?
Yeah, we'll grab another one on the way out as well.
And I got ethanol, and I got a tube for samples.
All right, thank you. All right, see ya.
Like your phone.
Oh, we got it, yeah. Thanks, love it. You have a machete on you?
Is it moving?
No, wait. It's moving.
Okay, where? What direction?
Well, you'll be happy to know in our direction. It's about 500 yards, but the camera's like only 100 yards up there, so let's, we can do it.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Copy. Where's our friend?
Shit, lost the signal. Hold on, I don't know. Wait,
Is it moving?
there it is. It's about 100 feet away.
All right, 2 possible droplets.
Okay. 50 feet.
That's moving. Fuck. Hold on. Fuck. Fuck.
Stay in the porch, stay in the porch, stay in the porch.
What happened?
I'll tell you, sit down, I'll tell you.
What happened?
Okay. Brian's dead. Huge rock came flying out of the brush.
God, are you sure he's dead?
Half his head is caved in.
Oh God, Jason, we gotta call the cops.
Hey, but stop just a second. Who's gonna believe that something was thrown at him, okay? Who's gonna believe that possibly a Sasquatch killed him?
I mean, Jason, we can't not call the cops.
Just let me think.
What about the ranger guy? Why don't you call him? He believes these things.
Yeah,
He'll
good
be
idea.
sympathetic.
Good, okay. Yeah, Jeff, how you doing? This is Jason, you met the other day. Right, how you been? Not so good. Listen, something very serious just happened. Really need you to come over and talk about it if you don't mind. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll do that. Thank you. I gotta go back up the hill with him when he gets here.
What? Why?
Brian had gotten a couple of possible blood samples. If it proves to show Sasquatch, it at least shows that something else was up there besides me. I mean, who's gonna believe that a Sasquatch threw a friggin' rock that killed my friend? Signal's still a half a mile away from where Brian died. You sure you're okay with going up the hill?
I wouldn't say okay, but where's that handgun of yours?
There you go. You've used one of these?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, his shotgun should be up there as well.
Lovely.
It's right up here. Signal's still about a half mile away. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh man, what the hell?
Are you sure it was here?
Yeah, dude, there's the rock. Body was right here, man. Yeah, look. That's the vial he had with the possible blood samples.
Is there any way one of these things would be smart enough to hide a body?
I don't know, dude. Maybe it, they, whatever moved it.
They.
I think it's a good idea to wait for the DNA results before going to the cops.
Look, not to paint a rosier picture of what happened today. I mean, your friend did get killed by a mythological creature.
Right.
But if you go to the cops, tell them exactly what happened, I don't see how they'd look at you at all suspicious. I mean, if you were the killer, why on earth would you report it? Doesn't make any sense.
To be clever.
Very clever.
Right. Well, you know, you barely know me, man. I mean, what's your honest take on behaviors you've seen me do?
I don't think you seem like a serial killer, like off the
you.
top. You
Appreciate
seem like a
that.
nice enough guy. You seem like you're trying to tell the truth, but then again, Ted Bundy.
Yeah, but Ted Bundy didn't volunteer information about his victims. Look, you're obviously going to be a suspect. There's no helping that. But if you go to the cops now, maybe our unborn child won't have to visit their father in prison.
I appreciate you being concerned, but you know any of the cops in Willits?
I know a couple. One's a good egg. I told him what happened to me last year. He didn't laugh.
Look, I don't disbelieve what you say, Jason. We just still don't know what hurled that rock. And frankly, you didn't see it.
Look, I saw the rock, Ben. All right? Here's a picture. Look. I mean, it's hard to imagine any sort of human throwing that with any accuracy, more than 4, 6 feet?
Yeah. I only saw it for about a second. I think it went way farther than that.
Why would you think that?
Well, let's say you assume 10 feet. Anything that was within 10 feet of us that would have thrown that, almost positive we would have heard it in the brush. Also, the arc of it tells me it probably came at least 30 feet.
Got a good arm.
You wouldn't happen to know the blood type of your friend, would you?
No.
What type of research were you guys doing up here?
Well, we were trying to get DNA from an unclassified primate. Possible unidentified primate.
Legally, I assume.
How long you lived around here, Ben?
11 years.
And what do you think the chances, from what you know, that there might be something like a Bigfoot around here?
Well, until I heard, Jeff's story 6 months ago, I was a pretty diehard skeptic. Not so much now. Anyway, I'll know by tonight if this is human blood, and if it is, most of this ridgeline will be sealed off tomorrow.
I had the DNA results run a couple of times. Showed no match to any known primates, but it definitely showed primate markers. It appears to be unique. But until a type specimen is found whose DNA matches this, doesn't prove that Bigfoot exists. Just that it's something new to science that is primate. What's the update with the police about Brian?
Same stuff. They cordoned off the top of the hill, added a few more investigators. They didn't find anything.
You still haven't told them about the tracking device?
Dude, I don't want a bunch of guys with semi-automatic weaponry and God knows what kind of attitude who think that, Bigfoot's got some bloodlust for humans, It's like, even though I know a Bigfoot probably killed my friend, I'm leaving a benefit of the doubt, Hire primates, throw stones as warnings, not weapons. That's my understanding.
20-pounders?
There's not a lot of rocks up there. Brian's gun goes off, gets the rock, hurls it in our general direction. Unfortunately, it hits Brian.
What's your next move?
Want to find Brian's body. It moved to the south while they were searching up there, but now the signal is back in that same general area, so I'm gonna pinpoint there. Again, I really do appreciate you keeping the DNA results under wraps for at least a few days.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Can I keep these?
Yeah, definitely. Be careful.
Awesome.
Good luck.
Okay, so if we see this thing that makes any, and I mean any aggressive movements towards us, we are letting loose, right?
Yeah, it depends how close it is.
How close is really close?
I'm still working on it. Okay. You're not nervous, are you?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's good. It's a good defense mechanism.
Place.
Yeah. Looks like there might be some hairs there. I can come back later and check it. It's 250 yards away. Let's keep going.
What the hell's that?
I'm not quite sure, but let's keep moving. 200 yards. It hasn't moved in about a minute. So I don't... Hold on. Naturally, it's moving right toward us.
Of course it is.
Hold on. 50 yards. Yeah. Now it's moving away in the other direction.
These things don't set booby traps, do they?
Hope not.
Yeah, me too.
Ugh.
Oh, shit. A peace offering?
No, I think it's more like, here's what you're looking for now. Leave me the hell alone.
Jensen here.
This is Jason. Jeff and I found Brian's body
Where?
on the hill.
Specifically, where on the hill?
About a third of a mile from where he was killed.
Our perimeter extended over a half mile in all directions. There's still lots of vegetation up there, and, we only had 5 searchers. Put Jeff on the line for a second, would you?
Sure.
Hey, Ben, what's up?
What's the condition of the body?
About what you'd expect from a 40-year-old corpse.
Did the smell lead you to the body?
Yeah, he's pretty ripe.
I'll I'll be up there within an hour.
Jensen's gonna be here in about 15 minutes. I want to show you something. What's that look like to you?
Where did you find that?
Okay, you remember the nest, right? About 20 feet beyond that.
Well, it looks like a placenta.
Yeah.
You need to tell Jensen about that.
Well, it looks like the head wound was pretty obviously the cause of death. It's got an open skull fracture with exposed brain matter. I'd say it looked like it hit him about 45-degree angle from his left anterior side. He's got lots of dirt and vegetation in his clothes. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was partially buried for a while. Hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn sure that this area was searched a couple days ago. I mean, is there anything that you want to add to that besides the DNA results that you say came from a blood splatter, which apparently belongs to an unknown primate? I mean, why did you think there'd be any blood to recover?
Tried to shoot a tracking device into a Sasquatch. Satellite-based.
So is it being tracked?
Yeah.
Okay, then where the hell is it?
Last we checked, about a third of a mile to the west.
Let me guess. You tracked it on your phone. Okay, I'm gonna need your phone, Jason.
Gonna need a warrant for that.
Okay, I could take you in right now for obstructing an investigation.
Look, man, I just didn't want, the shoot nanny scenario going
I
on.
mean, what are you thinking? That anyone I'd bring up here would just start blasting away like the idiots in the first Rambo movie? Jeff, you know about this?
Hey, I also got something else to tell you.
What, that the Bigfoot is a cyborg you built years ago and it escaped from a lab?
No.
What am I looking at?
My wife's a biologist. Looked on Google, it matched what she said. It looks like some type of afterbirth.
So if this thing killed your friend, I'm gonna have to view it like I would any other rabid animal. It needs to be put down or at the very least tranquilized.
Look, if you don't know the specific physiology of an animal, you can enrage it and potentially a lot of people could get hurt.
Okay, and this tracking signal, I mean, God forbid, if it goes out, right, and within a month or a year, this thing ends up killing someone else, who do you think is partially responsible for that? Huh? You and me.
If these things have existed all this time and they had a penchant for killing humans, don't you think we would have verified them by now? It seems like they just want to be left alone, and they've done a damn good job of it so far. The chances of another killing, accidental or otherwise, just seem low.
Not low enough.
Look, just try to promise me this, dude. You won't get some ragtag posse out there. The more people you get out there looking for this thing, the farther and the quicker it's going to go anyway.
And that would make you happy, right? Okay. You sure you don't want to hand over that phone now?
Like I said, I think I'd be more comfortable with a warrant.
And I'm sure you'd also feel more comfortable with me trying to explain to a judge what kind of animal killed your friend.
And what are you going to tell the judge?
What kind of animal do you think this is?
It's unknown at this time, sir.
It seems apparent that it hurled a 20-pound rock. I guess that rules out bear and cougar, right?
Right.
Also found some non-human hair on the deceased. That indicates possible non-human primate. Placenta-like material was found near the body. May have been trying to protect its young. This all happened up near Peel Ridge.
That's right, yes.
Now this Jason fellow, You think he's messing with you?
I don't see it, sir. The hairs, his willingness to come forth and report his friend missing, the testimony of the ranger, the alleged placenta.
Yeah. Regardless, I mean, something is responsible for that man's death. What are your plans related to the tracking of the signal?
I should have 15 to 20 officers, including Fish and Game and surrounding counties, up here within, I'd say, a couple days. And I did put a call into UC Davis for their thoughts on tranquilization.
Good. Very good. I'll sign it for you. Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you,
Let
sir.
me know what you find out.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. And give Megan my love.
I will. Well, isn't there a safe level of something where a large mammal could at least be put into a stupor?
Well, what kind of weight of mystery animal are we talking about?
Probably between 300 and 500 pounds.
And those hairs were definitely identified as primate, but not human?
Yes.
And you're definitely not calling from a morning radio show trying to get me to admit that I take Bigfoot seriously?
Yes, I'm sure.
How convinced are you, Lieutenant,
What?
that it's Sasquatch that you're dealing with?
Convinced enough to be calling you.
Okay, well, a moderate dose of ketamine should make an animal that size fairly loopy. It has a track record of pacifying instead of releasing aggression. It's kind of like a couple of bong hits as opposed to a few shots of tequila. And if you don't mind me asking, what are you going to do with it if you find it and put it under?
Still working on it. We'll figure it out.
Hey, Matthew. Yeah, good, good. Hey, listen, I've got something I think you might be interested in.
Hello, I'm Professor Matthew Olson, and I teach anthropology at Humboldt University in Northern California. The specific evidence of what I'm about to tell you is going to be revealed very soon, and one of the world's greatest zoological mysteries will be solved. A couple months ago, two men from Arkansas were out hunting, and they stumbled across something extremely unusual. These two men found the remains of a large primate species, unknown to the United States. More importantly, unknown to the world at large. Negotiations are currently taking place on how to release this evidence. I have personally seen these remains with my own two eyes, and I am telling you that I am certain that they will verify the stories associated with the alleged tall tales, folklore, mythological mystery surrounding the phenomenon that you know as Bigfoot. Just remember where you heard it first. Again, my name is Matthew Olson, and to all my fellow explorers out there, never stop searching, never lose your curiosity. Until next time, friends.
So wait, the idea now is to run this creature or creatures out of the area before Ben gets access to your phone?
Exactly.
Well, that seems a bit dicey.
I don't know. I think the plan's pretty good, you know? Jeff and I get close, not too close to be conked by a rock. Maybe throw some yells out or fire some shots. I think it is going to keep him moving in the other direction.
Okay, and if it doesn't?
Well, we're, well, I'll worry about that when it possibly doesn't happen.
Babe, are you sure this is the right thing to do?
I'm not sure. I don't have any other options.
Okay, well, I'd like you to get sure.
Hello?
Dr. Schlesinger, Matthew Olson here. How have you been?
Fine. How are you, Matthew? Recovering from all the negativity you've been experiencing, I hope? What can I do for you?
Well, you know, one of those proverbial little birds told me that some recent DNA tests you ran show a new primate species. I was wondering if you'd be willing to share any details at this point.
Pretty soon, Matthew. Pretty soon.
Any idea how soon?
I'd keep an eye out for the next issue of Scientific American.
Findings in the next issue?
No, but I'd keep an eye out. Take care, Matt. So good to hear from you.
Yeah.
Terry! Terry, it's Wilson. What do you want? I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? There's been some stuff going on, Terry. I thought you might be interested in hearing about.
Not really interested.
Looks like one of your friends may have killed someone.
They're not my friends.
But you know them. I guess part of the reason I'm here is to fill you in on the details and get any advice you might have. Maybe it can help.
Got it.
Yeah. Aim for the center, kind of work outwards.
Whoa. Okay, why vinegar?
That's vinegar.
Why vinegar?
I read somewhere that the chimps hate it, so you know, what the hell. Yeah, this is really the only place around here that's pretty nest-like, so it should keep them away, theoretically.
Okay. Jensen here.
Is this Lieutenant Jensen with the Willits Police Department?
Yeah, who's this?
Dr. Matthew Olson. I'm an anthropologist. I've heard you may be tracking something of interest to science.
Look, I can't discuss anything with an ongoing investigation.
Even if it pertains to a possible major scientific discovery?
Yeah.
Well, if you're in need of any advice concerning capture and containment, please feel free to call me back
Look,
anytime.
how did you get my
day or
number?
night. Hopefully hear from you soon, Lieutenant.
Why did you decide to call me after all this time?
Oh, come on. Old friends do catch up. How are you?
Fine. So, is it true you ran directly at a silverback?
He was showing zero signs of aggression.
I heard you did it afterwards.
Yeah, a couple of bruises for the cause, no biggie. So how's working for Renee been for you?
Oh, fine. Nice guy.
And how's the infamous tracker gun I keep hearing about coming along?
Pretty well. I think he might be letting someone have a go with it soon. I was supposed to do a spec test on it 4 days ago and it was gone.
I'm still confused on how that tracking works.
It's a fairly simple link up to a group of privately owned networks. There are a lot of companies now who rent out access.
Well, I hope he's getting a good deal. What company did he settle on?
I think Tronics. That's with an X.
And depending on the project, the signal is accessible to other academics?
Well, that's up to Renee. And probably the status of the academic.
As it should be. All right.
Hey, hon.
Lieutenant Jensen just left. He had a warrant.
He said he may have to take you into custody for obstructing an investigation.
Well, that's nice of him. I just had an interesting call.
What do you mean?
Schlesinger calls me. Tells me there's this jackass anthropologist named Matthew Olson who has been snooping around about the satellite data we've been using.
Why would he do that?
Well, the theory is he got hoaxed about 4 years ago by these guys from Arkansas. He just bought their story, and he didn't verify it. So he ended up losing his tenure at Humboldt, kind of became a laughingstock. And he immediately becomes a pro-kill advocate. Well, now he thinks you have to kill one in order to save the others. Renee's pretty certain that this guy would go to extremes to get what he wants. He wants to get to that signal first.
There any way to change the frequency on the tracker?
I have no idea. It's a good question, though.
You don't know?
I don't.
You seriously had one of those you don't know.
Where are you guys now?
We're about 8 miles from the cabin. Some good news. The signal is moving away from the nesting area.
All right, that's good to hear.
Yep.
Yep. Just to be clear, you're not a cop or anything, yeah?
No.
Okay. So you understand how this works, yeah? You give me the name of the satellite company, as specific as you can, area of where the search is taking place, when the search got started, and I can probably get you a signal.
And only for $5,000. Hacking always seems to be more expensive in films and TV. And hackers always nerdlier.
Look, since it's a private company, the encryption levels aren't as hard as, government ones. Hence the relative discount.
How long will it take?
Give me until the end of the day. If I can't get in then, I'll take $1,500 for the effort. Do you mind if I ask you what this is about?
Oh, come on. Speaking of movies, the less you know, the better.
Okay. Look, no one gets hurt because I'm giving you this information, yeah?
I promise, Scout's honor, nobody's going to be harmed in the making of a possible major scientific discovery.
Okay. Look, once I get the signal, I'll patch it into your cell phone. I'll link it up to the app and you can track it that way. Have you given any more thought to the additional tracking option?
I have, and I was able to scrounge up an extra $3,000, so yes, I want to be able to see where the other person is who is also tracking the signal. And Venmo's fine?
No.
Leo, take it easy. Just remember movie cliche number 3. You screw me on this, we're both screwed. Good talk.
There's only one road that leads from down there up to here, and we're on it right now.
Well, if this Matthew guy shows up, no OK Corral bullshit, okay?
But who's your huckleberry?
That is not encouraging.
I love you, honey. Thank you.
How's she doing?
Well, she's encouraged.
Huh?
Yeah.
Handsome?
Yeah.
You're gonna go to jail, dude.
Well, let's add another thing to what's going on. God. No, hold on. Hello?
I'm Wilson Taylor. I'm the judge that signed off on the search of your house for the phone. I just wanted you to know that if you get close to whatever it is you're tracking, be on the lookout for someone who might not appreciate what you're doing.
Is this person looking for a specimen?
Now, good Lord, no. I'm referring to someone who is under the impression that's what you want to do.
I'm not.
What is it then, Jason, that you want to accomplish?
I'm trying to learn about him without killing one. Look, can you let that someone know that I'm looking to help, not hurt?
The fellow I talked to, that I'm referring to, is Terry. And look, I didn't think he'd get so heated about what I told him. I thought he was going to be able to help the situation.
What's he look like?
Kind of raggedy, tall, late 50s, but fit. Ted Kaczynski comes to mind.
Oh, that's good. Thanks. That's great. Seriously, Judge, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
All right, Jason. Thank you. Where's your backpack?
So, it looks like it is not that hard to get guys to hack into private satellite company data streams. And that Olsen guy seems like quite the motivated asshole.
They're like Jack Black and King Kong.
Much, much meaner.
All right, now Google how to bury a body in the woods.
Don't you think I already have that bookmarked?
I'm not shoveling.
Look, anyone trying to come up here is going to have to pass the junction at the cabin, okay? We're like 9 miles from there. What I'd like you to do, get in the car, wait, kind of be on the download, and be on the lookout for any like single crusty looking males around 50-ish.
Sure. How are you guys holding up? What's the latest tracking?
It hasn't moved, and thankfully it hasn't gone back toward the nest.
You know, I'm actually kind of proud of you for doing this. I love you too.
We should go.
You want to get your gun?
Yeah, that might be good. What's up?
Beat up Jeep, but one salty looking dude's heading your way.
How long ago?
About 30 seconds.
What do you look like?
I don't know, like Nick Nolte after a rough night. Granted, that's pretty redundant. Anyway, he looks pretty pissed. What are you gonna do?
Not exactly sure.
All right, well, be careful.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so let me get this straight. So the crazier looking the guy in the vehicle, then the more likely it is the guy that thinks that you're trying to shoot one, right?
Yes.
And then the not so crazy looking, but still some kind of a dick guy, probably gonna show up, not harmful to us, and he wants to kill a Sasquatch just to prove they exist.
Yeah, I don't quite know how we're gonna deal with him.
Yeah, no, that's not a plan. He's not driving crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he sees us, man.
Oh, spiders.
Okay, easy, Barney 5. I'm not getting a total wackadoodle vibe here, so I'm gonna go out, put the gun in the truck, and try to talk to him. But, here, take this. Left hand, keep it low off here, keep it on him. If he makes a threatening gesture, fire a shot down low. If he comes out with a gun, hit him.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good?
You're giving me way too much credit as a marksman, but another great plan.
Hey, man. How you doing? I'm not here to kill anything, but there's probably a guy on the way who wants to do just that.
Why are you tracking?
I want to learn more about him without hurting them.
You've already hurt him.
Can I come closer so we don't have to keep friggin' yelling?
Sure. But your friend back there with the shiny rifle, he needs to put it down and come out to where you are.
Okay, dude, come on, come on.
Sure about that?
Yeah, it's okay. There you go.
Okay. Now, you can come up to 20 feet in front of my Jeep, and he can stay where he is.
Look, there's this asshat named Matthew Olsen who's got access to my satellite data. He's hijacked it, okay? This guy's gone on record as wanting to kill one of these things. He's the guy you need to talk to.
Where is that signal coming from now?
About 400 yards that way. That's the one with the tracker in it. But there's probably another one up there as well.
Yeah, who else had said that?
How are you connected to this thing, man?
30 years ago, I was growing weed up on the ridgeline. I was the main supplier for this county. Then one day, my best grove sitter up and quit. Said he saw an ape on the edge of the grove, munching on some weed. Sitter was, straight shooter, so I half believed him. So the next day, I watched over the grove, and around dusk, I heard some movement, so I turned the corner. There it was, sure as shit, a big ape, 6 foot plus, staring right at me. 500 pounds easy. So I yelled for it to leave. No go. Took a half step toward me and I panicked. And I put 3 rifle shots into his chest, 30-06. Fell face first in the row. I don't think he meant me any harm, but I was stupid. I was greedy, scared, from watching too many monster movies when I was growing up. I buried him up there. Then I pulled all my plants the following day. Go ahead, get that.
Okay. It's my wife. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Woody. Guy I was talking about, Matthew Olson, he's on his way.
Okay, so I suggest you two go get up with the creatures, keep them moving south, start from where your truck is. I'm gonna go back down the road and I'm gonna have a little talk with Mr. Olson.
Heading back toward the nesting area. It's actually kind of coming closer to us. Drop it.
And who are you?
Drop it.
Are you with Jason?
Nope.
What do you want?
I want you to leave.
Why?
You know why.
No, actually I don't.
You have a spare tire in your car?
Yeah.
Good job.
By the way, I'm here for science and to protect.
By killing one? Probably orphaning another one? Shut the fuck up.
Orphaning? Look, I'll assume you have a loaded gun pointed at me. Would you mind lowering it so we can talk face to face?
Turn around.
If a specimen is brought in, then they can be protected.
They've done pretty well for themselves over the years.
But with further encroachment on their habitat, they're gonna need a little help, don't you think?
Your popularity doesn't help them. Now take your phone out, put it on that stump, and set it upright.
I'm gonna need a stone or something.
Then find one.
I've got a Colt 1911 here.
And you're gonna need it. Where was that?
That way. That way.
Signal is over there. Shot came from that direction. What do you think about us staying in the middle, in between them?
I mean, if you hack the signal, why not us?
That's not a happy thought, but
God, I suck at this. Jason?
Yeah.
Let me guess. You figured I could track you and you left your smartphone back a ways.
right again.
Smart move. But how'd you know where I was without your phone?
Well, we knew you were coming from the right. The signal was to the left. Keep looking forward, dickhead. So we just aimed for the middle and got lucky.
Actually, at this point, I'm really just trying to get out of here, get back to my car after my run-in with your friend Billy Bob back there.
Yeah, you must be spatially dyslexic, dude. You came from the other way. All right, do me a favor, throw your gun up in front of those trees up there.
Straight ahead?
Yeah, straight ahead.
Okay. Oh, shit! Ah! Oh!
You want to die out here, man?
No, I just want to do my job as a scientist. You honestly think you're protecting them as a species by trying to stop me?
You have no idea how many are left. Did getting duped by those Arkansas yokels really fuck your head up, or you just don't give a shit?
Jason, you know if I don't get one, someone else will, right?
How hard is it to understand that we learn more about them in their natural environment? The tracker provides that.
Right! If it continues to work. And that's a pretty big if, Jason.
Yeah, and the killing of one is just the price they and their offspring have to pay, right, asshole?
Oh, your naivety is touching, Jason. Well, what's the old saying? You can't stop progress, and of course you know that's true. So why don't we just stop this right now, Jason? Because you're not stupid, and this is stupid.
Shit.
Where do you think Terry is?
I don't know. As it turned out, Terry, by way of the judge, made me an offer that if I stopped all active investigation into the tagged creature for 2 years, and that I promised to not publicly disclose what had gone on this past couple of weeks, he would let me know where he buried the one he shot 30 years prior. I told the judge to tell him that I needed to think about it.